Another big difference that we also saw, not just even visually, it was also a difference in the way that the men behaved or the way that they acted. On one end, you had Dre, who was really, I want to kind of call him a slight, was treated very ignorant, almost like he was the family dummy. And what you would see is that Dre was Rainbow, his wife, was certainly smarter than him. And even his kids were smarter than him. It was almost like they just had to put up and suffer through dumb dad. And he was just always trying to teach them some goofy lesson, and he'll fall on his butts, kind of some Three Stooges slapstick comedy. And this is the image that was being before my kids, because they watched the show religiously. But me, no, because anything that was shown in our house, I wanted it to be filtered in the correct way. They can make their own determination from that, but don't just sit up here and take what Hollywood is showing you. And so when they did that analysis, we went back to James. James was no fool for his family. JJ did not make fun of his dad. Now, there were times in which JJ stood up for his dad, and that was part of the show. That it was like, if you want to be the man in this house, then you have to beat the man. Shout out to Ric Flair. Woo! But that goes back to John Amos, James Evans on Good Times. And let me give you a little bit of history for those who may not know, okay? So we get into the fact that Esther Roll, when she was picked to have that role on Good Times, and they took her from Maude, and I have this clip on one of my videos on YouTube, that actually his name was Henry. We could go into the whole John Henry legacy of the legend of John Henry. If I remember correctly, John Amos was Henry on Maude. And you saw this division that was already being written in the script by Norman Lear. Y'all know who Norman Lear was, and I think they might have even died 1 year apart. I have to go check the date, which is some incredible irony even in that. But in the script, Norman Lear had this bickering, this animosity, where basically the feminist Maude was now influencing Esther Roll to go against her husband. Thankfully, when Esther Roll then had a chance to be the lead on Good Times, she said, I will not do the show unless you give me a strong black father. Enter in John Amos. Now, for some of us, you may also know John Amos, of course, from Roots. But it was who John Amos was as James Evans. Being that strong black father, that's what really got me. That's what I watched. Because John Amos, or the behavior of James Evans, that was my dad. Down to the wife beater. Or we probably shouldn't say that, because that actually goes back to a little bit of Ike Turner. And if you know the story of Ike Turner did not do all the things that you saw in What's Love Got to Do With It. I was just explaining that to my oldest son just the other day. A lot of that was also filtered in through the culture.